producers think that you need to write out this whole script and almost have like a teleprompter and read off of it. That is not a podcast. You might as well just start like a whole news channel. A lot of podcast producers are all about the quality of the audio, and I'm kind of like, to be honest, it really doesn't matter that much. Your content will never perform better because your audio sounds like this,
or it sounds like this.
And I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, and that's okay, is your quality of video. Your quality of video does not fucking matter. There is no difference whether I record on my iPhone or my $5,000 mic. It will not perform any better or worse than what it already would. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm going over my own controversial takes as a podcast producer. I have worked all the way from professional studios, the top podcasts that you see on Apple Podcasts every single day, the ones with the $5,000 mics and the $2 million setup, all the way down to startup podcasts, and their budget is like $50. And you will find that a lot of different producers will prioritize different things. And I'm going to let you know with my experience what I find to not be important at all and what will make your podcast successful. So in this episode, you're really going to learn where to prioritize your budget and your time. Number one, and I will take this to the grave, a lot of people fight me on it. And ironically, it's the quality of your audio, which a lot of podcast producers are all about the quality of the audio. And I'm kind of like, to be honest, it really doesn't matter that much. And yes, I, work in the industry. Of course, I have the expensive mic because that's just, what I do. But it's all about what you're saying and the value that you're providing to that person. It doesn't matter if it sounds like this polished piece of professional, perfected audio, or it's just something recorded off your phone and just repurposed. It really, really does not matter. Your content will never perform any better or worse than what it would if it was recorded on a $5,000 mic or just simply recorded on your phone. Your content is going to perform how it is going to perform most likely. A great example of this is the king of content, Gary Vee. If you go check out some of his podcasts, the audio sounds like fucking shit. And I'm saying that as a, professional producer, it sounds like garbage.
To be better.
So my question to you, Gary, is what is attention hacking? Can you give us some examples and some best practice?
Yeah, so I'm writing the book I'm working on, which will come out next year, is actually called Day Trading Attention.
But guess what? It is performing good because he is saying something with value and that people want to hear. So regardless of the quality, people are going to stop, listen, and, be really engaged with his content because they are getting something out of it. Hot take number 2 as a producer is scripts. When I get on consult calls, everyone's like, oh, we have to make a script. We have to do this. And I'm just like, oh my God, like stop right there. Just stop. So I encourage, unless you're a fantastic speaker, which most people aren't this well-seasoned speaker publicly, but I encourage structure improv. So what I recommend is getting a sheet, write your main topic on the top, maybe like 4 bullet points, and then little detail points underneath, like an outline, just to keep you on track, on topic, and making sure that you're hitting all the points that you want to hit. Many producers think that you need to write out this whole script and almost have like a teleprompter and read off of it. That is not a podcast. You might as well just start like a whole news channel at that point. Scripts sound extremely robotic, and what I find, once again, working from the top podcasts all the way to startups, what will make the best podcast is when a podcast sounds like that you're on a FaceTime call or you're eavesdropping into like a really good conversation. It should not sound like this scripted, perfected piece of content. Like it's really okay. Once again, your content is going to perform how it is going to perform, and what matters is your delivery and what you're saying and how you're delivering it. So once again, this is a podcast. We are not acting. My number 3 hot take, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, and that's okay, is your quality of video. Your quality of video does not fucking matter. And once again, this is coming from a producer who's worked with, the professional DSLR cameras, the ones that you push around in the news studios with the white balance and all the fancy things. I promise you, Your content will not perform any better or worse if it was recorded on an iPhone or a professional news camera. Your podcast will do fantastic if your content is good and your content provides value to that person. Going back to the Gary Vee example, I have seen many of his video podcasts where the visuals are garbage and they get thousands and thousands and thousands of views. And you know why? Because he is providing value to his audience. So it is therefore converting. Once again, your content will not perform any better or worse than what it would depending on the devices that you are using. Once again, obviously, this is all within reason. Like, obviously, audio has to work. Like, you can't talk into air and have nothing come out. But I'm just saying there is no difference whether I record on my iPhone or my $5,000 mic. It will not perform any better or worse than what it already would. The only time a better mic or better visuals will maybe add a little bit of a twist into you is that, like, it might add a little more credibility, but once again, that's within reason. Like, you can record on your iPhone and it comes out pretty damn fucking good. And you can record on a fancy DSLR camera and it comes out good. But nowadays, if this sounds weird, but if things are too good, people are expecting you to like sell to them almost, and it doesn't seem like organic. It seems very structured, almost giving off like that acting vibe. So sometimes, honestly, recording on an iPhone is best. So just to top this off, my whole reason of going over this is if you're starting a podcast is learn to take messy action. And by that, I mean too many people wait for perfection and nothing ever happens. So sometimes you have to build the ship as you're, sailing along, but you do have to obviously have your steering wheel and things like that. But a lot of people never start because they need the perfect lighting, the perfect camera, the perfect mic. And I'm like, just start. Like, that is the hardest thing, is just starting. So once again, your content will never perform better because your audio sounds like this,
Or it sounds like this.
your content will always perform how it is going to perform. And it all comes down to what value are you adding and how are you delivering it. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.